Hi, just a little bit of an intro here because I've had a bit of problems with this video. The original recording I did, I used the wrong setting for the screen sharing, and none of the drop-down pop-up boxes recorded. So it kind of made the tutorial not as not as informative as I would have liked. So I'm re-recording that particular piece, and you will see me in the nice little blue shirt here. And I'm going to pop in some of the other pieces from the original recording where I'm wearing a purple shirt. So you'll see these two colors switch back and forth during the video. And you'll know which is the original bits and which is the re-recorded stuff, because some of the other stuff I did in the original video didn't have drop down and pop-up boxes, so I'm not going to bother re-recording that. So now we will get on with the tutorial. Okay, today's video is going to be how to use the Affinity graphic software to create a reader magnet. Now, reader magnets are great things for authors, and but the one thing I have noticed with a lot of reader magnets is that people have a tendency to skimp a little bit on the covers because they're free books, and you don't want to spend money on a cover for something you're not going to make money back on, and I can understand that, and I get that. But remember, this reader magnet is sometimes your first introduction to a reader, and if your cover's not giving the right impression, yeah, it's not a good first impression. So but like I said, a lot of people don't want to spend money on to hire an artist to do a cover for their reader magnet, and I get that, or they just don't have the budget for it, which is another problem. Now, you could use a pre-made cover. That's a perfectly good option, and it's a lot less expensive than hiring an artist. But if you can't afford that either, I'm going to show you how to use Affinity software, which is free if you have a free subscription to Canva. So it's free and a free. And I would recommend Canva as well. It's great for doing YouTube thumbnails, book graphics, and all sorts of other things as well. Anyway, I have already done a video on how to use Canva. I'm going to link that in this video in case you want to go see that later. But for now, we're just going to concentrate on Affinity. Now, if you have a free subscription or a paid subscription to Canva, you can download Affinity for free. If you don't have a Canva subscription, you have to actually get a free Canva subscription to download Affinity. Now, the Affinity software used to be paid, was reasonably priced paid software, and it was divided into three parts: Affinity Designer, Affinity Photo, and Affinity Publisher. They have now all combined this into one software package and are offering it free. And how many times can I say free? So I'm here to show you how to use it and what you need to know to download it and stuff. So, of course, the first thing you have to do is get a Canva subscription. Then you go to the Affinity site and you can download it. Now, once you do download it, okay, so here we are in Affinity. And I'll give you a little overview of Affinity and what you need to do if you've just downloaded Affinity to set it up. So we are in the Pixel persona. There are three personas in the new Affinity software. This is the Pixel one. This is where most of the photo manipulation and work will happen. And then there's the Vector Studio, which is up here. And yeah, not much changes except the tools here on the side. That's where you do your vector graphics, and then you have your layout one, which is over here. And this is for formatting, like if you're formatting print books or something like that. I may do a tutorial on this particular one later. Okay, so we're going to switch back to the Pixel persona. Now, if you're just setting up Affinity, you're going to go up to File. You're going to click And you're going to go down here to, no, you're going to go over to edit, sorry, not file. And you're going to click settings. And then you are going to go down here to machine learning. Now, if you see these little crowns right here, this is where the generative AI stuff lives. Now, I have no use for generative AI, so I do not use this. And if you want generative AI, you have to have a paid Canvas subscription, which I don't have, so I can't use it, and I'm happy with that. But what you do want to do when you first download Affinity is go into the machine learning, ignore all the generative AI stuff, and go into segmentation, which is this box right here, this one here. Now I'm going to turn it, and it's turned on right now. See, it's blue. You want to turn that on because this is going to be your selection. This is like the selection in Photoshop. It's not generative AI, it's machine learning AI, which is different, which is the stuff we had before the generative AI and the chat GPT stuff. And you need that to use the selection tool. So you need to make sure that this is turned on. So that's the one thing you have to remember to do when you download Affinity. And then you can go explore stuff. So if you're doing a reader magnet, you're going to need images. Unless, of course, you're an artist, you want to create this thing all from scratch, which you can do. But yeah, we're assuming you have little to no artistic talent to do this. I mean, so, and I'm trying to get beginners to get comfortable doing this if they can't afford to pay an artist. So basically, so you want images. Now, I would recommend stock images, but again, they cost money. Maybe if you've gotten the deposit photos thing, you might have some stock images ready, so that's great. But if you don't have stock images, you don't subscribe to a stock image site, you haven't taken advantage of the deposit photo sale, you may be going to a free stock image site like Pixabay. Now we're going to switch over to sharing the screen. Whoops. Yeah, we're going to switch over to sharing the screen for Pixabay. Well, I'll show you some tips on how to avoid AI images on Pixabay. Now, I solely use Pixabay. I'm not sure if things like Pexels or Unsplash or any of those other free stock sites have this. If they do, take advantage of it. And also, I want to say that using images from free stock sites is only, and I cannot stress this enough, only for reader magnets. You do not want to use images from any of these free stock sites for your book covers that are going up on Amazon or any of the other retailers. Amazon frowns on the stock images from free stock sites. So do not use them on Amazon. But for reader magnets, something you're giving away for free, and has nothing to do with Amazon or selling it, you can get away with it. I would, as I said, recommend stock images because they're higher quality, they're better images. But if you can't afford a stock image, you can use a free stock image for a reader magnet, but a reader magnet only. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to get rid of most of, and I say most of because you're still going to get a few of them that slip through, these AI generated images that people put on these free stock sites. So first of all, we're just going to type in the word city because I'm going to be using that later. And we're going to press enter here. And it's going to give me all the things that are tagged with the word city. Now, as you can see here, I've got now we're going to go, I'm going to start over again. Okay, so when you do this, you're going to get these things up at the top. Now, first of all, you're going to get content type. This is what you want to do to avoid getting as many AI generated images. You're going to click content type and you're going to click authentic only. This will filter out most of the AI generated images. It won't get rid of all of them, but I'll show you how to filter them out. I'll show you how to filter out images that you don't know whether they are or aren't AI, if they're suspicious to you. Now we're going to click, now you can click all images, that should give you everything, the photos, illustrations, vectors, and if you click illustrations, you will get the illustrations here. Now you can see some of these probably are AI. Some of them may not be. So, and then you click photos, you'll get photos of the city. And for our purposes here, we're going to go in, we're going to click vectors. So now this is the one I'm going to be using later. So we're going to click on that. And yeah, so that is there. Now, if you want more assurance this is not AI, you click this here, show details, and then you look at the date right here on the bottom. It says March 11th, 2019. That definitely means it's not AI, because generative AI did not exist in 2019. So that one's safe to use. Okay, so we're going to click out of sharing the screen there. Click out of Pixabay. So now we're going to start with the tutorial on how to make the reader magnet cover. Now, I'm going to pop over here to this tab. And this is what we'll be recreating today. This cover, which is the standard object sword cover with the little doodads and stuff. Okay, so you want to start with your basic blank template. I use a 1600 pixel by 2500 pixel for an ebook cover, which is what you want for a reader magnet. So that's what I recommend. And so you want to go up here to get your images now. So you go up to File, and you go down to Place, and you click Place. And that will pop up your open window. And right now it's popped up into Affinity, so we want to pop over to this folder that I have, and then go into my Pixabay folder, and we're going to scroll down, 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 down to the R section, where I'm trying to find the picture. And of course, you can never find the picture when you need it, but it's in here. Oh, there it is. There we go. That's the picture. And then you're going to click open, and you're going to get this little arrow box thing here. What you want to do is you're going to click on the corner up here, and you're going to scroll down, down, and you're going to scroll some down some more until you get to the bottom of the page. Then you're going to let go. And now I'm going to just zoom out a little bit here so I can see it better. And then you're going to position it on the canvas. We're going to go over here for a minute. Yeah, it's like the three hills. So just move that over just a little bit more there. That's about where we have it on the other one, I think. And there you've got a position. Now you can leave it large like this with all this overhang. And here I'll show you what the overhang looks like. You just click it, and then you can see the whole picture. And then there's a little shortcut key that you can click. It's the little slash key. Anyway, and then you can make it invisible again. Now, if you're happy with that and you don't think you're going to want to move it, or you just don't like all that overhang because it's, extra pixels, you can left click, right click, and bring up the window, and you can go rasterize and trim down here, and that will get rid of all that and just leave you with the canvas covering. Okay, so now we're going to move it back into fit. We're going to zoom to fit. There we go. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now I'm going to work on the background, and we're going to put that kind of vignette in there. Now, Affinity has a vignette. I don't like it. I can never get it to work, so I don't use it. So basically what I do is I take the rectangle tool, make myself a little rectangle. And then we want it black with a vignette, or you can make it whatever color you want. And then we're going to click down here onto this second one on the row here. It's the mask layer. And we're going to give it a mask. Now it's a white mask, so it's still showing. So we're going to go and we're going to invert the mask so it's a black mask. And it's all, so it's not covered because black conceals, white reveals. That's the rule of thumb. Now we're going to go over here on the brush, click the brushes, go into the brushes, and we're going to go to basic brushes. We're going to find a nice soft round brush, and it's this little tiny one, so we want to move up the size of it here. That should be good. And it's about, and I really don't want any hardness, so I'm going to take the hardness slider here and push it all the way down to 0, so it's totally soft. And I also don't want 100% flow on the brush because I want to build up the color. So I'm going to take it down here to about 10%. And then we're going to make sure we're clicked on the mask. And then we're going to take the brush. And we're going to make sure, okay, maybe that's not, whoops, we're still on black. We need white. That's why it's not working. Okay, yeah, that's a demonstration of what not to do. Okay, now we're on white. Yeah, there we go. And see, now we're just making a little vignette, and you just go around the edges. Just go around the edges like this. Make a little vignette. Now you don't have to put a vignette on your cover if you don't want to, but I think I like the vignettes. But it's up to you. And it takes a few minutes, but it's not difficult, so. And if you ever go over too much or you go a place you don't want, you just go back to the black like we were in the first place and mask it away. So I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So we'll just deliberately go a little too far here, and then we'll just go into the black, and then we will just erase it away. Just say if you want a little, it's a little too dark there, maybe a little less. And then you can just switch back and forth between these two and make it however darker, lighter you want. Like that. Okay. And if you want it a little softer, you can also go in here and you can go and click up to pixel, up to the pixel menu up here, go into filters, go into blurs, go into Gaussian blur, and you should be able to just blur it a little bit. Yeah, see, blur it a little bit, and you sort of just kind of meld it in a bit more, like that. Oops, I accidentally deleted the Gaussian blur filter. Let's do it again. Don't do that. Okay. Yeah, I didn't click apply. There we go. That's where we wanted it. Now you click apply before you close it. And then you've got that sort of nice melded look to the thing. All right. So now we'll go back to the practice cover and see what's next. Okay, so we want to, like, this one has a little bit of a sort of a glow to it. So we're going to add, like here, we're going to add a recolor adjustment. So we'll go back over here and we will click on the background here, and we will click here to the last one, adjustments. pop that up, and you will get a recolor. Now we don't want red, we want more of an orangey color. So a little too far. I think that is good. Now let's go back over here, see what settings I used on that. Okay, so it's 85% opacity, and it's the average blend mode. Okay, and we'll pop in and make sure there's nothing here. Oh, I did it. Yeah, okay, same thing. All right, so go into, now you can do this from the top menu here, or you can do it from here. So we'll do it from the window here, and you click the blend mode at the bottom, and you go down and find average, and we will do the 85%. Okay, and that's not coming up with the same. Oh, there we go. And so you can adjust the colors. Oh, there we go. We needed to go darker. Okay, so we push it down darker, and we get that sort of blended look there. We push the saturation down on the middle slider. You can put it up if you want a little more, or you could put it down there. And that's about what we had. So that's how you do that. I hope that wasn't too confusing. Okay, so, and then we have our background, as you can see, basically, for that. I mean, it's a little brighter. You can adjust the colors. This one's a little brighter. That one's a little more muted. You can adjust the colors. You could try another blend mode. So like, that one's no good. But you could try color, luminosity, different other blend modes. Overlay gives you a more purple look. Soft light, hard light. Multiply if you wanted it darker. But we'll stick with average. And we can adjust it up. Maybe if we adjusted that up a little, we could get a little bit more. There we go. Maybe a little darker there. So you can adjust it to whatever colors you want there. We'll leave it for that one. Okay, and I also added another filter into this. Now, do not ask me to pronounce this right. It is the Voronoi, VORONOI filter. It's basically the stained glass filter. And what I did was I squished down the cell size here until it's very tiny, and squish down the line width to you, so you get this kind of crackle effect on it. Now let's go see, make sure if I used any. Yeah, and I used the soft light blend mode. So we'll go back over here and use the soft light blend mode, you see? And you get this light kind of old-fashioned crackly effect on it. So there's your background. So there's several effects you can use. This one's a nice one if you want kind of an old crackly canvas effect. Anyway, so now we're going to add the sword. So we're going to go back to place. And we're going to go back into the Pixabay folder and scroll down again to the S's, because I believe it's listed under Saber. Yeah, there it is. Okay, and we're going to place the sword. We're going to, okay, let's see how big it was. Okay, a little smaller. So we'll just size that down a little bit. There, I think that's about the right size. Put it approximately in the middle there. Anyway, and that's the original size. Now I put it at that place because I've left some room for the title, which you want to do when you're making a book cover. Okay, so now we want to create this sort of ghostly effect. So, okay, now, okay, I'm just checking to, okay, so we'll do the glow first. So we need several copies of this. So we're going to do the glow copy first. So, whoops, and we need to put that above everything. So the saber goes on the top of the layer stack there. And so we're going to, you now, in order to do a copy, you either right click and click duplicate, or you can use the Control J shortcut on the keyboard. So, and we need one more, so we'll Control J it again. Okay, so now, okay, now we're going to add the glow effect and some color effects to this. So we're on the top duplicated layer here, so we can see what we're doing. And we're going to go into the gradient, the fill layer, and we're going to click linear. And you're immediately going to get a black and white gradient on this. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the little color box here, and we're going to do sort of an orangey blue glow to it. And we're going to go over here and we're going to make a nice little bright blue. Okay, and we're going to just sort of move those gradients a little further in so we get this sort of half and halfy look. Just move them in close to the blade. There we go. That's kind of what we want there. So, and now we are going to go and into edit, and we're going to copy this. Then we are going to go and to the next, turn that off so we can see what we're doing and make sure this works. And we're going to paste, but we're not going to paste. We're going to paste style. And we're immediately going to get the gradient on the next one. And we're going to go into this lower one. We'll turn that off so we can see it again. We're going to go in and we're going to put paste, and we're going to put paste style. That way you don't have to keep repeating yourself. Okay, and the top, this one here, we're going to leave as is. So now we're going to turn these colored layers back on. And we're going to click Shift and group them. And then we're going to pull them down below this one. And we're going to turn that top one off so we can see all the other layers. Now, so I'm going to double check to make sure. Okay, yeah. So we're eventually going to group these 3 layers together. Oops, we need another top layer too. So I'm going to have to make another layer. Okay, so we're going to over here. And before I forget, we're going to turn that back on and make another duplicate. And we're going to turn both of those off. Now, we're going to go into here, into the bottom layer, turn the top 2 off so again we can see what we're doing. And we're going to go into the FX effects, the layer effects. And we're going to go down to the Gaussian blur. I'm going to check that. And we're going to put a Gaussian blur about 9, 10 point pixels. So it's still visible, and we're going to also click scale with object. So if you ever decide that you want it bigger or smaller, the effect will scale with it. And then we're going to click closed. Now we're going to click on the next one. And instead of going back into the FX and starting over, we're going to take the FX and we're just going to click on it. We're going to move it up. And we're going to do the same thing to the top layer that's not visible. Then we're going to click into the FX box and we're going to move the Gaussian blur up to about 30, somewhere between 30 and 35. And then we're going to close out. Click on the last one. Click on the FX, and this one's going to be 100. Then we're going to close it out. Then we're going to shift click. So we put in, and we are going to click on group. You can also do Control G or Command G if you're on the Mac, and put that glow into a group. And now we will click on, see, and now you've got a bit of a blue glow, blue gold glow around the sword. And you can adjust the Gaussian, and you can also adjust the, like you can take the group and you can make the group like screen and make it a little more see-through, and more of a glowish color, like that. And so now we're going to pop back over to the practice cover and see what the other layers had. So this is now the second layer. What did we, okay, we did an inner glow for that. Okay, so we did, all right. So now we will go up to the second layer here, now invisible, go back into the FX, and we will go down to the inner glow. I'm going to leave that white on the, and the blend mode is screen, and we're going to go down with the opacity to about 61, I think the other one was. The radius, we go up. Let's see, let's check, see what our, yeah, it was 100%. Okay. So our radius on this one was 100%. So we'll put it up to 100%. And see, we get a nice, we get kind of a nice ethereal glow, and it blends with that gold and blue in the background. And again, we want to press scale with object, and then we close out. And now we'll go to the last one here. We will check on what FX we used here. And again, this was just a Gaussian blur, 100% on this one. Okay. So put that on. And then we don't actually have to, we just take the Gaussian 100% from the top layer here and just pop it right on top. And it's also in screen mode here because, yeah. So we better put that top layer into screen mode. And we're still not getting that ghostly effect. So what did we do wrong? Okay, yeah, I think we did the screen. Yeah, I think these guys have to be in screen mode. So we put this, the group back into pass through and these into screen mode. So yeah. Let's see what that does. No, we're still not getting it. Just hang on a minute. Okay, so we come up to the top layer here, but I did this wrong. We weren't supposed to duplicate the original. We were supposed to duplicate this one. So we're going to duplicate that, pull that up above, turn that off, and it's still. Okay, so, and you can see it hasn't got the luminosity yet. So we will delete that. There we go. See, and now we will take those three, the glow group and the two other duplicates and we will group these together. And then we will go down to the blend mode and we will click luminosity. And there you got your ghostly sword effect. All right, so that's your cover. You've got your sword, you've got your background, and now we're going to do the title. So for the title, we want to click on the text here on the sidebar, and we're going to go up here, and we're going to get your standard fantasy text, which is Cinzel, and we're going to go with Cinzel decorative, and we're going to go with Cinzel decorative bold because it's nice and we don't want 12. I usually use about 72 points. And so we're going to click the first part of the title. We're going to call this Ghost Sword. And we're going to move it down. Now we don't want black. Black's a bit too harsh. So we're just going to select that, go into the color, make it a nice white to begin with. Then we're going to move it into a kind of a bluish color. Sort of there. That's a good bluish, light bluish color. Anyway, and so we want this. I usually make my tiles into separate words because it's easier to place them on the screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate the text here, and then we're going to move that down, and we are going to write out sword. Now, I think that's a bit big. I mean, sometimes you do have to adjust the text. So we'll push it down to 64 here instead of 72. That looks a little better. Now, you could leave it like that, but it's kind of plain. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into FX. We're going to go into Bevel and Emboss. And we're going to click this. We're going to click Inner. And we're going to unclick the joiny things. And we're going to push that up a little bit till we get a nice beveling. Then we're going to check, see if we want, see if there's any profiles we like. Not real big on the profile, so we'll remove the profile. Might just adjust it here a little bit till you get what you really like. Anyway, and now we're going to go down to the highlight color because we don't want to keep white and black for a highlight color. What we want to use is a little bit of blue on the highlight color. And again, we want a little bit of blue, only this time a darker blue on the shadow color. You always want to kind of match your colors, your font colors when you're using Bevel and Emboss to the main color of the text. It blends better. And you can also adjust the light direction. For instance, here, if you wanted to all sorts of things like that one actually doesn't look too bad if you put it in this direction. Kind of looks more ghostly. So I think we'll leave it there. Anyway, so that gives you a little bit. You can also, if you want, put an outer shadow on there. But I don't think we're going to do that today. We'll do that on the second one. So anyway, then you click closed. And again, you just take the FX and you duplicate it up to the sword. And there you go. You've got the bevel and emboss on both of those. Anyway, and if you want, you can actually add patterns to this like you could if you wanted to. match. Go back down here to the stained glass, because I'm not saying that again. Press the Alt key on the keyboard and just move that up. And that should pattern, but it does not. That's interesting. Oh, there you go. Then you got some different patterns. You can different pattern here, line widths. Doesn't, oh, there you go. Now you're seeing it. So you can move the cell size a little bit. See, I don't know if it's showing up very well on the screen, but yeah, you can pattern that if you wanted to, or you could make a gradient on that. Go linear gradient on it. Put that there, and you put that down on the bottom maybe. Make a little bit of a linear gradient on it. And again, you can go up and copy, go to sword, and paste style, and you get the gradient on that too. So there you go. And so now you've got a slightly more interesting text. And then you can just take that and duplicate it again, move it down here, select it, take the size down a little. I'll use 48. And then you can type in your name. I'm just going to use author name here. There we go. And move it there. It's still a little big, so we'll select it again. Move the size down a little bit to 36. There you go. And then you position it. You might want to adjust the colors if it's a little darker, because I mean the colors. But I think that's pretty good for the first demonstration on how to do a reader magnet cover in Affinity. Okay, so that's your basic standard object fantasy cover. And now we will do a straight up cover for a mystery or thriller novel in a vector style. So I'm going to click out to the home page of Affinity, and I'm going to click on my book cover template that I have saved, and we will start another cover. And here we go. We will go and place, and this time, oops. No, first of all, we want, first thing, we need a background. So first thing we're going to do is make a rectangle. And we're going to go into the gradient, which is the fill here. We're going to make a gradient. Make a linear gradient. We're going to want something in the kind of dark night colors. So we'll go with blue, dark blue. And then this will go with more of a blue, kind of a gray sort of a color. That's good. And then we're going to switch the gradient. We'll go up here, white, and we'll put the darker color here. We will also do a little pigment blend, so the pigments blend a little bit. Yeah, and you can also, for gradients, you can also, in the settings, click the dithering box, and that will help with those lines you get sometimes on gradients. Anyway, we might want another vignette, so let's go back over here to Ghost Sword and steal that vignette so we don't have to recreate it. We will just copy, go back over to the new cover, and click paste. And now you have a little vignette. Maybe we'll use it, maybe we won't. So and now we will go to paste. We will go and we will get our, I think I put those in this folder, if I recall. Yes, I did. I think that was the city one. So we're just gonna pull that up. Put it there because we want a little street in front of the city. That's good enough. And then we will go and place, and then we will go, and I've got a little female silhouette picture here. So we will place her. There. Now she's not showing up well against the background. So you can do a couple of things to set it off. You can go into the city and go into FX and do an outer glow. Let's say we do a little bit of a yellow here. And do a radius around the city. Blend it down a little bit. Scale it. And that sort of sets the city off a little bit. Or you could just, again, do another bit of this. We'll give that kind of an orangey, be a little bit of a red-orange glow. And then you take the rectangle and you pull it to the right and drop it right inside. No, that's not the word. No. Okay, so we have the yellow color of the city. The woman's still a little there. So what we'll do is we'll go to the FX. We'll go up to inner shadow on her. Go to screen. We'll give her kind of a yellow-white color too. And then we'll take the offset tool and see what then we give her a little bit of a offset like that. And then we'll just kind of blend it out with the radius button. And it's a little bit big, so we'll just kind of dial it back a little bit with the offset. Just the angle. Maybe pull the radius back a little bit. A little bit more. You just adjust this, just these until you get it just about where you want it. Now that doesn't look too bad. So there you go. So now you've kind of differentiated between the city and the lady. Now, if you don't like the little yellow line here on the thing, you can just take a little bit of a rectangle. Make it black. And get rid of that. You can pull that down. No, just leave it there because it has to be above the city. And you can just make the city a little longer and get rid of that yellow thing if you don't like it. So, so now we have our basic thing, and we need to give her a shadow. So basically what you want to do is duplicate, Control J or Command J. I'm doing that. And then you want to go into the Vector Studio, because I don't have it in Pixel Studio. And you want to go to the transform, and you want to go flip vertical. Now you're just going to pull her down. And if you want the shadow to twist a little bit, you just rotate it, move it back over till it meets. And then you want to go into the FX here, turn off the inner shadow because we don't need inner shadow with shadow. And you want to do Gaussian blur. And then just blur it. Just enough there. And then you close it. And now she has a little bit of a shadow there, and she's a little more grounded in the picture. So, and there's your thing. Now, if you want to add a little moon, say, just do the eclipse tool, add a little moon, and of course we don't want black as a moon color, so we'll go into the sort of silvery white here. There you have a moon. You can also go into the FX, do a little bit of an inner glow on the moon, like that. And maybe even do a bit of an outer glow on the moon, like that. Maybe push the outer glow down a little bit. And then you've got a bit of a little moon there. And then we can do the title here. Go back up to, for a good, I like to use Anton here for thriller and whatnot titles. And we definitely, and we'll want to do for color, we want to go, we'll take the color picker and we'll get that kind of yellow color, because thrillers and mysteries use yellow a lot. And we'll go murder. Whoops, that's not how you spell murder. Move the moon over a little bit. See, this is why move it over and down a little bit. And then we will duplicate murder. Control J. Move that down and select it and change that to night. Now, I wouldn't suggest using bevel and emboss on thrillers, but what you can do is you can use outer shadow on these ones. So we'll just stick with black. You could use a darker blue too, but black will work with this particular one. And then you just use the offset tool and just move your shadow a little bit. Put a little bit of a blur on it, not too much, because we want it there. And leave it on multiply, scale with object, and then take it and duplicate it to the second one. Now, you're not going to see it much on the darker blue like that, but it does offset it enough so the eye will actually pick it up. Anyway, and then you can take night, duplicate it, Control J, move it down, select it, and author name. And then position it where you think it looks good. Maybe over here a little bit to offset the whole thing. Whoops, I always do that. And we will add the artistic text that we didn't need. Go back to the cursor there. Anyway, and then you've got a basic vector cover for a thriller or a mystery. Now you can add some texture to the background if you want. I have some textures, built-in texture things that I already have. I'll show you that in a minute, but I'll also show you how to do texture. You go back over to the Pixel Studio, back to the brush, back to your brushes over here, and you want to go down to textures. Now, I have a lot of extra brushes here that don't come with Affinity, but the texture brush does come with Affinity. And except for the gold brush, that's my brush. That's one I created. So maybe you want a little bit of a grunge pattern on it. And we'll do maybe a little black color on top of it. And see, you can just paint like texture on it. And if you see, it will give you a pixel layer here. And it's like, we'll just put a little grunge texture all over this. A little down here. Now, I'm not doing a very good artistic job. I'm just doing this to show you. But then you can go over here and maybe make it multiply, maybe overlay, soft light, make it a little softer, and you can adjust the opacity so it sort of fades a little bit. So you've got a little bit of a grungy look to the background. Now I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to show you I'm going to show you how, if you, to do your own textures things a little bit. So what I do is I've got some already done, so I'm going to place them. Now we will go into Affinity instead of Pixabay here. Go into my textures and take my favorite, which is what I've named Coarse Weave and Splatter. Now, I've done all of these in gray color. As you can see here. And then if you click on the shift, you can just adjust it down one side there, move and adjust. And then you can do that here too, so it fits a little better. Now, see, all I've done with this particular texture is I've taken the grunge brushes and I've been a little careful and meticulous, and I've created a pattern with the brushes and then saved it as a PNG file. Now, once you have it here, you can do the blend mode thing, do the overlay, and you can, so it's on slight or the soft light, so it's a slight texture that you can barely see, or you can leave it on normal and just move the opacity down so you can see it a little stronger if you want. Anyway, so I think we'll go with the soft light for this. So you can see it a little. So you get a bit of a textured background. You can't quite see it. You can also make a starry background if you wanted to. But anyway, so that's basically how you do reader magnet cover for a thriller in a vector style. So that is the end of the tutorial for Affinity. This is part 1 on how to do it with free stock images from places like Pixabay. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. This will be edited a little bit. As I said, I'll have some inserts from the old recording, and I will be having some transitions here because I had to use the other setting. I had to pause it a few times and do things, and there will be some editing on some of the things that I screwed up, so you don't have to suffer through that. Anyway, but it's all pretty much alive as it is tutorial. I mean, I haven't done anything other than what you're seeing on the screen. Okay, so I hope it was helpful. There will be a part 2 where I'm going to be doing stock images, paid stock images as reader magnet covers, or any cover really, because you can use that on Amazon if it's a paid stock. And there will be also a part 3, I hope, where I'm going to be doing graphics, vector graphics for book promos and things like that you can do yourself. So look forward to part 2 and 3. Hopefully I will get them out sooner and easier than this one came out. So bye for now, everybody.